All right, so we're back with the first podcast episode of 2025-2026 school year. These two students came together to do something very, very original. Their podcast is all about Hamilton. Hamilton, you ask? Yes, that Broadway show with Lin-Manuel Miranda and all of those great times. If you think back during 2020 when we were all at home kind of figuring out what to do, some people developed an absolute love of this musical. And with that said, all these years later, some of those students are still listening to it. It's about these two students, and their podcast is Hamiltalk. And I can't wait for them to get into it. So for the 2025-26 school year, without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to them.
On this episode of Hamiltalk, we're talking about Hamilton, the characters, the songs, and what to expect from our brand new podcast, Just You Wait. Hi everyone, welcome to Hamiltalk, the podcast where it happens for episode 0 on October 21st. I'm Kat, and with me as always is Cass, and it's time to take our shot and tell you all about our favorite Broadway show.
On today's episode, you'll get to know a little bit about us and our show, and you'll get a sense what you're in for future episodes. We'll even tell you about our goals for future guests, and you never know who might just be listening. Why don't we first take a moment to tell you all about why we started this podcast to begin with.
I've loved Hamilton since I was like 6 or 7, and ever since I've loved it, and I talk about it all the time. I just loved it so much, so I started to learn and understand, and now I'm here.
And I've only watched Hamilton one time last year. Why don't we first take a moment to tell you all about why we started this podcast to begin with.
Well, there's so much to think about for the show. I'm fascinated by it, and I'm borderline obsessed. Of course, I dragged my co-host along for the ride. I'm giving her a little more time to explore. She's gonna become a superfan like me. We'll pick some music from the show to use that for a jumping off point into a discussion. That might be a different theme or topic each week. There's so much behind the scenes. For instance, did you know? It all started with the vacation and a book. Lin-Manuel Miranda was on a vacation in Mexico, and he was reading a biography about Hamilton and began to imagine it as a musical. And I was like, this is an album. No, this is a show. How has no one done this? That's the hip-hop narrative Miranda told. Since Hamilton's music is a big part of the show, why don't we talk about some of our favorites? My top songs in no specific order are Satisfied, Burn, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, and It's Quiet Out of Town. And I could go on, but I don't think I can pick. I have some strong opinions about some topics you can hear in the future episodes.
The only songs I know the names of are Alexander Hamilton, My Shot, Wait For It, and Burn. That's it. What about favorite characters?
My favorite characters are Eliza, Washington, and Jefferson because I really like their vocals. What about you?
My favorite character is Lafayette. The moment he comes on stage and the audience loses it is so exciting about him. I love his rap part in Guns and Ships. It's super captivating. Eliza is also a really strong person and has amazing vocals.
Okay, we could talk about the characters all day long, but let's talk about how each episode is gonna go. So each episode's gonna have 2 segments, and they're gonna be about 2 or 3 songs in order from the track, and we're just gonna talk about it, and it'll be sung by yours truly.
And I'll ask questions and commentary.
Not only are we going to talk about songs, but anything related is fair game. To the characters, the plot. There's so many times where the melodies follow the characters and you hear them in many different ways. We can't wait to get into it and explore this and so much more with you guys.
We thought it'd be fun to do a quick BuzzFeed quiz of which Hamilton character are you. You can of course play along at home. Please let us know what you got for your quiz results by emailing the show. That of course will be in our show notes. Okay, let's get started. Who is your right-hand man? My mom, sibling, dad, significant other, myself, BFF, colleague, assistant, or my therapist. I'm gonna put my sibling. What about you?
I would also say my sibling, maybe myself, but I agree, probably sibling. Okay, pick a Hamilton song. One Last Time, You'll Be Back, Helpless, Satisfied, Wait For It, Guns and Ships, What Did I Miss, My Shot, or Say No to This.
I'll put Satisfied. What about you?
I would say One Last Time.
It must be nice to have lots of money, a significant other, a college education, an army, ambition, intellect, friends, or an empire.
I would say lots of money.
Same. I'd also put lots of money.
Okay. It's the greatest city in the world. Where would you like to live? New York, Los Angeles, London, Tokyo, Paris, Mexico City, Sydney, Lisbon, or Rio de Janeiro?
I would put Paris. What about you?
I would say New York. Take a break. Run away with us for the summer. Let's go to Italy, Russia, Germany, China, Indonesia, New Zealand, Peru, Spain, or India.
I would go to Italy.
I would go to Italy too.
It's the election of 2032. Who are you voting for president? Beyonce, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Chris Evans, Oprah, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, Kim Kardashian, Meghan Markle, or Jesse Williams?
I'd probably say Oprah or Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I'd put Beyonce.
Wow. You're never satisfied. What's one quality you wish you had more of? Patience, kindness, bravery, discipline, ambition, intelligence, humor, confidence, or independence?
I would put confidence.
I would probably say patience.
There's a million things you haven't done. What's on your bucket list? Skydiving, swimming with sharks, bungee jumping, climbing Mount Everest, getting a tattoo, whitewater rafting, going on safari, scuba diving, or walking on hot coals?
I would say bungee jumping.
I would say skydiving.
Finally, history has its eyes on you. What do you want to be known for? Writing a book, being internet famous, producing a film, beating a Guinness World Record, changing a law, marrying rich, inventing something, leading a movement, or being the best?
I would do beating a Guinness World Record. What about you?
I would say inventing something.
Oh. For my quiz result, I got Angelica Schuyler.
I got Alexander Hamilton.
Oh. We're just about out of time on our first episode of Hamiltalk. What's his name, man? We talked about our favorite songs, characters, and even spent time playing a BuzzFeed-style quiz to find out which character we would be. Okay, so Kat, where can you find us?
You can find us online on Twitter and Instagram with the username Herrick Studios. You can find this podcast on your favorite app by searching for Herrick Studios. If you would like to leave us a review, please do so on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and we might read it on the show. That's going to be it for me and Cassidy. Next time, we look forward to getting back into the room where it happens as we talk about our first two songs. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. This podcast is a production of Herrick Studios with Mr. Height and Content Creation Foundation's 8th grade elective. The views and opinions expressed in these recordings do not necessarily reflect the views or position of Herrick School District.
All right, first podcast done.